Hey guys, on this week's show, I'm going to talk about Deck of Wonders and Foreteller.
I got some news on Unsettled.
We got some big news on Hasbro.
Elden Ring.
We'll see you there.
Elden Ring.
Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Dan.
This is Board Game Rundown. Today, we are going to talk about games we played, news, crowdfunding. Not crowdfund. What?
No, it's funny.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Thanks. Really left a cliffhanger there.
I know. Crowdfunding.
And we're done.
And we're done.
But make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications when all of our videos drop out because we're always releasing new videos.
Absolutely.
You stepped on Dan.
No, that's
No,
okay.
it's
It was
Spencer.
funny. Spencer did it last week.
He did.
Yeah.
We tried.
It was,
tried.
yeah.
I was doing that. I'm like,
It was
what did
rough.
he say again?
It was rough. I
did
think
it.
I think I had to do your intro twice because I did it the first time. I was like, that felt weird. I don't do this.
And I had to go through my head of all the other YouTube people and how they do it. I'm like,
Well, so it's weird because after you guys were done filming, I got a message and it was like you guys were like two Marlon Brandos on here. Like you refused to wear pants.
Right.
You had to have everything you were going to say already written on cue cards.
absolutely.
Right.
But had to
'Cause we
be the
deserve it.
direction you were facing, and you would just change directions randomly.
Right.
So they would have to move with the cards. And like all kinds of stuff.
I actually invited Val Kilmer. He didn't show up.
And
Yes,
the
so
full
shocker.
bar,
Yeah.
it took them forever to get the full bar in here. I mean,
yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
That is true too. All right, guys. Well, it's really good to be back. Thank you both for carrying the weight of the show while Bob and I were off gallivanting at a friends and family event.
Gallivanting.
only a little jealous. Only a little jealous.
Only a little jealous. I mean, listen, I didn't want to make you more jealous, but I was technically invited. I was working.
Only a little jealous.
Technically, I could have gone.
Dang.
That's awesome.
Just
You
like
said
a,
the quiet part out loud.
just like a little preview. Our topic show that you'll see next week is all about Julia Khan. We are going to go into detail. We're going to have Mike on. He went down with Bob and I, and the three of us are going to go through in detail like all the
So
games we
many
played and like
games.
the crazy things that happened because whenever there's a big gaming convention or anything, right, crazy stuff happens inevitably. So anyways,
Stay tuned.
our games we played, well, you will have played a bunch of games since then maybe.
I played a couple.
And I'm just going to kind of like highlight some of the crazy fun ones that I played. But what did you guys play?
I mean, I'll just get it out of the
last
way
week.
really quick. So anyone who is part of our Discord knows that all I've played the last week is Elden Ring. I've played maybe too much.
It's not a board game, by the way.
I like don't play video games that much anymore. Like I'll hop on Dead by Daylight with you guys like once a week and play for like 2 hours or
Right,
something. If I have the time, I don't. And like I haven't played a big story game in a really long time. Like I mean, I just find myself not having time. There's always other stuff I'm working on. But I was like, I'm changing my schedule. This game looks fantastic. And yeah, so video game, just getting it out of the way first, pretty much all I've played, other than some games I played with you guys. Well, I played one game with you today. And I've just been trying to push my way through Elden Ring. It has been fantastic. So far, I'm like 20 hours in.
That's awesome.
Do you see about how long it's going to take to finish the game?
You can go on websites. It averages
10 hours.
I think if you just play the main story, I'm trying to figure out if you do side quests, it's like 120 averaged right now. I think if you do the main story, it's around like I want to say like 70.
So like Final
I
Fantasy
can't
game.
remember. I can't remember. I remember seeing the number, but obviously though, people will find ways to speed run it in 15 minutes, like people
yeah.
always do. I don't know how they do it.
The day after it comes out, you got people on YouTube saying, I finished already. Ha,
Right,
ha, ha.
right. But yeah, anyway, and I'm just going to throw it out there. This is Tim's first Dark Souls game ever. For some reason, he decided he was going to buy it, and I'm so happy. I can't wait to see what his experiences are with it.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I love George R.R. Martin.
Right. Who wrote the overall like world that the game
He
exists in.
sort of created the world, and the lore behind it, right? And then the Dark Souls guy shaded in all the colors.
Made it Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Cool.
So no, it looked fantastic. I was really curious about it for like kind of a long time. My problem with a game like Dark Souls is that like by the time I was kind of aware of it and paying attention, it's like Dark Souls 3, and it's like, well, do I go all the way to Dark Souls 1, or can you?
You can
Just-
start at any one. They do reference each other, but you could start at 3 and it doesn't matter.
Sure, but you know what I mean. Like, so now I'm in the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
You know, not gonna lie, when I saw it, I thought it was a Lord of the Rings thing.
see when I saw it, I thought it was a Morrowind.
Oh yeah,
an
that
Elder
too.
Scrolls.
Yeah, an Elder Scrolls.
Which also doesn't help that I use Elder Scrolls to describe the game sometimes to Tim too, which is probably confusing as well.
I'm old. Like, oh, those are things I like.
See, I haven't actually seen a commercial for it. I've only seen
man.
like half of my friends on Discord
The
playing
official
it at the same
trailer
time.
is so good. You should watch
Yeah,
it.
I will watch it. Maybe I'll get into it because
So,
many
out
my
of your
people are in it.
4 friends on Discord, half of them are-
And hold on, you checked Discord? No.
that's newsworthy all by itself. So, anyways, Spencer, games you played.
Oh well,
last
we
week.
actually 3/4 played a game last week.
I thought we
Lockdown.
mentioned it last week.
You did.
Did we?
Yeah, I thought we did on last. That's why I wasn't.
I
saying
couldn't
it,
remember
but-
if we had
But
mentioned
we
it or
did
not.
finally play Nemesis Lockdown. We technically didn't finish, but we got so close to the end, we
Yeah, we
knew
did.
how it was going to finish, and we just said, okay, let's pause
Yeah.
it here. I mean, it was just a first impressions video anyway. We were very familiar with the original Nemesis, so we were like, we can say some first impression thoughts. So
So the rules pretty similar.
I mean.
yeah.
The bones are the exact same.
Okay.
Now the meat on the bones is definitely a little different, but it's interesting because like I didn't exactly word it this way in the first impressions video. Again, there's a slight bias here. You know, it's your still number 1 game of all time, maybe, and it's in my
there.
top 5 at least, but probably top 3. So in Nemesis, there's like the checking the engines. And there's like checking your destination and stuff, and those are things you can like lie to each other about. So that's like not in this one. In this one, that's replaced with kind of the contingency system, which is there's like I describe it as the "you're all gonna die down here" chick from Resident Evil. Like there's a hidden thing that's gonna happen at the end of the game, and there's no way to check it. But there's a pile in the middle of the board that you can check, and each player starts with one. And using some computer actions, you can like hack their data pad and check those. And by eliminating which ones isn't the options, you're trying to figure out which one is the option, because the contingency might say kill everyone in the escape pods. And so you need to figure out what that is, because if you're trying to get out via escape pod, you're gonna die. So that kind of replaces that system, and then also the electricity, the power
Yeah, the
system,
power system where different floors
plays a
have different
huge
power,
part in the game, and it's probably by far my favorite addition. I love that system. You're each room of the board, because it's like a Mars base with different floors, and there's an elevator that you can take, and each room has its own power. And as an action, you are moving those powers around. So I'm shutting off power on, floor 3, 3rd floor, because that's where he is. I don't care about his safety. Just turn on power where I am, so that I can use the computers where I am and stuff like that, and manipulating that power.
And I like how there's 2 ways you can manipulate power. One of them actually turns on stuff, but it's a hidden room. You start with a room that everyone knows about. It's the backup generator, and when you turn it on, it's only going to turn on half of them. You get to determine which half get turned on and which half are turned off.
Right, but it also stops the power from turning off as often.
Yes, it
as
turns.
often.
Yeah, and that's another interesting thing with the time track at the top. Now does a whole bunch of stuff.
Right, it's like 4 tracks on one
Yeah,
track.
It's great.
But I mean, it's
streamlined it.
It's slightly streamlined, and
It's
the
crazy
stuff
because it
that they
sounds
changed.
the opposite of streamlined. Because you're
No,
like,
I know.
all these tracks.
There's all these tracks
on one
streamlined.
track.
Well, that's the
and
thing,
it's
though,
like-
is it just means there's one marker that moves up, and as it hits certain points, different things activate. Instead
Sure.
of there is the self-destruct marker, the round marker, like on the normal
yeah.
Nemesis
No, I guess
board.
that is streamlined. It just seems like. I guess maybe it's not
Right,
As
I get it though. It's streamlined in the exact opposite way that BSG was, to where it took
Right.
one track and made it 2, and we're like streamlined, right? So I do get that.
It's also it was really difficult on certain games in Nemesis where you're going through the ship and the whole ship is now seeded with noise tokens everywhere. And on this one, if power is on your level, all the noise tokens that are not right next to you go away.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
It's insane how helpful that is, and
Wait, so the
that-
power's on,
which
the
makes
noise
sense,
tokens
though.
go away.
they go away because the creatures are avoiding the light.
Oh, they don't like light. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And then also when you're in power, you replace the red damage die with a blue damage die that's better, because you have advantage.
yeah,
you
for that.
you can see
That's
them
true.
in the light. It's like there's so much involving the power that is huge.
Yeah, and the characters are really cool.
yeah,
I have the lab rat, and she's insane, the abilities she has, and they're just all in the cards.
No, they feel way more like
Different.
yeah, I don't know, way more like there's more asymmetric feeling
Yeah,
to them in this
they're
one. I don't know if there
unique.
is, yeah, but like I was the hacker and I was just going around. I could like use computers even if the power was off, and I could just do all these things, and like you really feel powerful because you were even mentioning in the base game Lockdown, at least, there were no asymmetric powers.
Yeah, the
like
traits.
what you could get for the Nemesis characters. You could get these asymmetric traits for them. But like we didn't feel like the Lockdown ones needed them because their deck was so good. Like, you know, there was just so much more you can do with
I mean,
them.
the lab rat can take a contamination card in their hand, which normally is just dead space, remove it from the game, and replace it by drawing 2 cards. I'm like, what?
What? That sounds amazing.
it's really good. It's like game breaking.
So we played Nemesis Lockdown, and I played Nemesis with my daughter.
Oh, did you kill her?
No, she wanted to co-op.
Well, that you say you're doing co-op, and then you're still.
It was
You get in that escape pod.
it was down to the wire. We were on the very last turn, and we had one more roll she had to make in order to get into the Hibernatorium, and we're like, it's noise tokens all around. And so it came down to a 1 in 8 chance or 1 in 4 chance on her roll, and she barely made it in.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
I guess
love
that's
that
the
game.
last thing about Lockdown is we found it a bit easier than Nemesis, but that also could just have been purely luck because
It could have been.
the first intruder that popped out in my spot, and I one-shot it. I just got really lucky.
got
and
lucky.
Oh,
one-shot
you
it.
one shot. Is that because you drew the card and it was low enough?
Yeah, well, I'll explain.
There are other things.
Not in this video. There's no
Okay.
point in explaining
Right,
in this
right.
video. But I told Tim.
Dan had a really good solution.
I told Tim a little homebrew thing that I'm just going to start doing, and I play with whiners, is what I told him.
Yeah.
And he said, honestly, I kind of love the idea. Just don't call me a whiner.
Draw the card and put the creature on top of it.
Fine, I'll just say it.
We're gonna do it.
You're
to
not
see-
going to let it go.
Yeah,
I'll explain.
just because I want to see if it solves his issue with the game. I know you have it too, but like I told Tim, next time I play Nemesis with Tim, when he shoots at a creature, I'm gonna draw the card, let him look at it, and just say whether the alien died or not, and discard it face down. And then you don't know what happened. You just know you shot a creature, it lived, and that's all you know.
And you know that the more
See? That's what I
and
said.
you'll know that the more ammo has been spent on him, the more damage he's taken, the higher the chances are that he'll
Right.
be dead. That's a
Yeah,
good
and
idea,
I
yeah.
just said I'm just gonna try that once and see if it alleviates that feeling for people, because I don't fully understand it, but I understand that you have an issue, and as your friend, I'm trying to come up with a homebrew rule to help.
So I got one other question about Nemesis Lockdown, then we'll move on.
Yep.
Time. How fast did it?
Oh,
how
I mean,
long-
It's not as long as
I thought we
Nemesis.
played it pretty fast, but also that could be because
We got lucky.
only true intruders showed up, and I one-shot my first one, and he one-shot the second one.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
we were getting really lucky with. Actually, I have to tell this story. I guess we told it in the last video, so if you listened, I think it's in there. But an intruder popped up in Jeff's spot and and Jeff played a card called like Reckless Attack or something, where he just does 2 automatic damage to the
this is
alien,
great.
but he gets to attack him back. So boom, 2 damage to the alien attacks him back and misses, and then his 2 damage caused the alien to retreat, which I've actually never seen in normal Nemesis.
Oh, you haven't?
Yeah, I've never
Okay.
been lucky enough to see that. Instead of like a health marker, there's just an arrow saying it just retreats.
And it retreated down the technical
So it
corridor.
intruded into a technical corridor, because that's the number that was on the card. And Jeff was the character who could crawl through technical corridors. So at the end of his turn, his second action was to then chase the alien through the technical corridor. It was the funniest series of events watching. Like, it was
Love
Jeff's
these
first
games.
turn, our first time playing Nemesis, and to see him, like, an alien pops up, he punches it in the face, it swings and misses, crawls away, and he's like, "Get back here!" And he's like crawling through the corridor. I freaking loved it. But anyway, yes.
So I did actually play 2 more games. I had a game night on Friday, and I got to teach 3 people how to play New Frontier, which is the Race for the Galaxy board game, not the card game. And it was very fun. They all enjoyed it. I did win,
Bad
but
teacher word.
but I had my comeuppance because the next one I was last place by a lot. The next game we played was Stockpile. You guys
I've been wanting to
seen
play
this one?
Stockpile.
It's very famous, but I have not played it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to play Stockpile.
It's interesting. My friend Caleb actually works at a bank, and he had a big problem with it because you're dealing with stocks, except you don't get to buy stocks when they're low. So stocks going down is never a good thing. It doesn't help in any
That's what
way.
you're supposed to buy.
Exactly. The way it works is you have a stock market, and it's got I think 6 different commodities on it, and on one side of the board, they all start at the same level and they all have the same length. On the other side, they're very different and very asymmetric. But we played the basic one where they're all start at 5, and they, as you're playing, everyone gets access to a little bit of information of what's going to happen to the stock market. Every round, there's going to be, each one of them is going to go up or down, or they're going to do dividends, which means if you have any of those stocks, you can reveal them and you get $2,000 for it. But you get to see one of those, what one of those is going to do. So for instance, I saw the bank was going to do dividends. So after that, we place out on these 4 or 5 different piles, stock piles, a series of stocks, and we each get 2 cards, and we get to put one face up and one face down on one of these piles. And then we're bidding on them. And there's different prices, and you can have little bidding wars. So if I saw that one of them had like 2 of the banks, and I happen to know the banks are going to do dividends, I'm going hard for that bank because I'm going to get $4,000 just taking it. Or I had one in the beginning where I knew that if a stock goes down too far, it crashes. Everyone who has any of those cards discards them immediately, and they don't get anything out of them. Then it will reset, so that's good. And I knew this was going to crash, so I'm like, I'm seeding this
insider
one.
trading.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm seeding this one with all of the stocks that are going to crash.
Thank you, Congressman.
But I did them
doubt.
I did them face down, so people were like, "Oh, that's more valuable. It's more interesting." And so I'm not going near that. Oh, there's all sorts of crazy things you can do. If it goes too far up, it splits, and you get to take all the stocks that you've earned, put them on the other side of your little mat, and now they're worth double when you sell them. But if they split and then they start to go down, you could be losing out on money.
Sure.
So it's got all sorts of crazy things. It was very fun. I would definitely play it again. You guys should try it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it
on the
sounds
list.
really good, and I'm sure for people who like that type of, the stock market stuff, they're probably
I
like,
normally
this
don't.
is really cool. Can you give me a reason why I wouldn't just play QE instead? That's my question.
It's nothing like QE.
Right, but it's like
So-
this manipulating of money, but
So-
but I'm laughing the whole time.
All right, so I'll tell you because that'll lead into one of the games I played, right? So I
Okay.
played QE. I wanted to play it with my brother-in-law because I think you wouldn't know it just by talking to him, but like he is really fun when you get him in. Like
You
these
wouldn't
kind of-
know it, but he's really
Well,
fun.
Patrick comes off very serious.
Very serious.
So to play a game where like it kind of like gets everybody going, and it's like this is chaos. He hated it because it was chaos. Where stockpile sounds like there's not chaos. There's a lot of controlled there's a lot of information,
Right.
right? So QE, you in that you are there's a tile that comes out and everybody's gonna bid on it, right? And everybody's trying to fill out basically their set, but you can bid any amount of money you want because you print the money.
$1 billion.
And
Sir,
so
the stock is worth 20. $1 trillion.
So Patrick didn't like that. He didn't know what everybody else was bidding.
Of
so it was
course.
hard to judge what the value
Right.
of these
There is
things
no
are.
value. The value is whatever you make it.
You should have used his little thing to look at the bid.
He should have.
But anyways,
So again, though, so your thing though is why they might like stockpile.
they might like
more.
stockpile more.
I said, explain why I would play stockpile instead of QE because it doesn't sound like I ever
Well,
would.
you and I like the chaos.
So
I'm an agent of chaos,
I was
As you-
born into it.
molded by it.
you also have asymmetric powers, and everyone.
Okay, well I'm in.
Fine, you got me.
Like, for
Wait, wait.
instance, every time
wait,
I
wait.
sold stocks, I got an extra $1,000. Caleb's character, instead of having one face-up stock and one face-down stock, he could put both face-down. And there are also some of the stocks that you get to seed the board with aren't stocks. It's you get to give a bumper to one goes up to, one goes down to, or trading fees. Which means between 1 and 3,000, if you take this stock, you got to pay the trading fees as well. And so he would all the time be secretly putting trading fees on something that looks super valuable, and he'd put his marker there trying to get us.
Yeah.
What did he know?
Love it.
And then at the very end, and he's making a big show of it, he'd be like, "Oh, I'll let you have it.
Right.
Move over here.
Manipulate the
You
market."
scum."
It's like
Love
it's like the Atreides in Dune.
It was great. It was
You're
fun.
just like, ooh, this is a good card. I'll buy it, idiot.
Yeah. No.
Exactly.
Uh,
So I recommend it.
oh, good. Bob, you want to throw one in, and I'll throw some in real quick.
Okay.
Don't go into Nemesis lockdown length.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People kept asking
well,
questions.
I'll go into a few. That I played 3 rather quick ones last night, so I'll go over those because they're fast, and we talked about a few of them on here before. King of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Love
Tokyo,
it.
toss
Love
Fantastic.
it.
Any
That's
expansions?
that's Yellow. How do you
Yellow.
say it?
It's yellow.
Yeah.
It's yellow.
YMCA.
Elio.
Elio.
It's yellow game.
It's clearly
It's
yellow.
not yayo. I mean,
Clearly, because why?
because there isn't a vowel after the L's. I don't
Bob,
know
what
where
else did
get
you
the
play?
sound from.
Flick 'em up. The base game. Flick 'em
love
up.
it.
OG
Yep.
version with the wooden bits.
Yes,
Yep, so
yes.
that was good. And then I taught Harry Potter Labyrinth, which is actually a ton
Oh.
of fun. So it's like you have this board, and they have all these little squares with like straight lines, T's, and curves.
Yeah,
and then
like
you've
Karuba
got
or whatever, right?
sort of, yeah. But then it's all laid out on a board, and there's like one extra piece, and you're on the board, and there's all the Harry Potter characters scattered about. And you have a deck of cards. You flip one over, and that's who you're trying to find first. So you're trying to move your piece there. So you're going to
Okay.
take the extra tile, slide it in somewhere in the labyrinth, and it pushes the whole row or
Oh,
column.
it's the old Labyrinth
It's the
game.
old
with
Labyrinth
just
with a
the
Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter
theme.
themed.
Yeah, correct.
Never heard of it.
Did it have like extra powers, or is it just
No.
pictures of Harry Potter?
Pictures of Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
That is the magic
That's
of
all you need.
Hogwarts.
That's right. But no, that was fun. We had a good time playing. We played it 3 or 4 times. So.
Oh, right on,
Yeah.
right on. I'll talk about one other game, and then that will lead into like Kickstarter or not or
two
new
other
stuff.
games I
Oh,
played
go for it.
that weren't part of JuliaCon.
Go for it.
Jeez.
Okay, Lords of Vegas. I guess technically that was, but I played it again. But then while I was at JuliaCon, they had a little tray table thing or whatnot, and I picked up a game, Unsettled.
Oh yeah.
And I got to learn and play that this past week.
What?
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. It's a cooperative puzzle solver, and
Dan's
you're
not
these-
interested.
I
in
am
that.
Dan
so
doesn't like
jealous.
these.
How'd you
And
get
it's I know, and it's you're like scientists and engineers, and you're on this ship. Wormhole opens up, kills all the military people, and it's just you guys left. You're trying to figure out how to survive on these planets.
Yeah, there's
And-
no enemies, there's no fighting.
Yeah.
It's just hey, that oxygen's toxic.
Yeah,
Figure
don't
it
read
out.
that. Like the first planet, like the first one you land on, right? The trial one or whatever. Everything's sticky. Everything's covered in spores, and so you're trying to figure out like when you walk through places, you leave these spore counters. People who go into spore counters get like penalties and stuff like that, but you can like get them cleaned off, and you start to build like research areas, and as you build the research areas, you unlock more abilities. And like the writing is hilarious. Like you read through the rule book, and it's like space is hard, try not to die. You know, it's like really like funny and
accurate.
quirky. Like yeah, you know, and like some of the names like Slurp Gerbler. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, I saw that
It's
picture
like,
you sent.
What?
Yeah.
But it was funny. Like it's really comedic writing. And we had a fun time playing it. I can't wait to try out some of the more difficult missions and planets.
There's gonna be a lot of people in
Sounds
the
fun.
Discord
Sounds fun.
happy that we're gonna be able to get a review out for this. I
Yep.
think.
Yeah,
Because
it's.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and it's super. Like, I'll admit it. I hate the box size. Right, I don't like the shape that it is. 'Cause it's a very odd shape. But it's so neat though because like the trays all lift out and they're stuck. And as you pop them apart, all your bits are in the trays and it's ready to go.
Is it
That
game
is-
trays?
Yeah, I think it's game trays.
well,
Don't
it's
quote me on
Orange
that.
Nebula.
Oh, it's
Orange
what game
Nebula.
Yeah,
trays.
so
Game
it's
trays, yeah.
gotta, even if it's not game trays, it's at least gonna be on par with the
They did-
Vindication.
They did
insert.
Vindication.
No, they.
so-
Yeah.
Well, I'll get into it in the Kickstarter.
Right.
But yeah, it's a really neat like system like that. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's set out. And all I gotta do is
Love
pick
it.
a planet, and every planet has its own little box too, where you open it up and it has like the different.
I was about to
cards and
say,
all the
last
bits.
question was, so trade table, was it just base game? How
No,
many planets did
no,
you
it
get?
wasn't a trade table. It was a flea market.
Yeah,
Well,
it was an
you
online
know.
like flea market. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
No, I have the base 2 planets that came in the box. I have the 4 extra planets that.
Okay.
You scooped up like a Kickstarter.
That's
It was,
almost
a
all
Kickstarter-
of
it was,
it,
it was one
yeah.
of the guys' Kickstarter pledges.
Okay,
Nice,
okay,
very
that's
nice.
that's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to trying that out.
Yeah, yeah. I brought it too. So well.
Yeah,
Oh.
you can take a look
I
at
can
it.
look at it. Ooh, cool, a game I can't play.
what I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
you're
play.
welcome. Stay up late.
So I got to play Mob, the Big Apple, which is a 2-player game that is now like filling on Kickstarter, and it is a really neat 3-round game of like it's kind of a tug of war. So you're selecting. You got all these mobsters, and you're loading them up in the cars. You're sending them. You're sending them up on like the top of the board to do these actions. You're lining them up at locations, and there's like all these crates of contraband, like, and you're like seeding the board and making some territories more valuable. You can roll a die and shoot, like potentially like a car full of mobsters and get them off the board so they can't, come over here. You've got these poker chips that are have a numerical value of 1 to 3.
That's why you like the game.
The mole token, and you're placing them. So that is a hidden thing at the very end of the game that you'll reveal, and it will add to your strength in the territory. So basically, you play 3 rounds, right? You play all your workers, And then once you played all your workers, that round's done. The board state is what it is. Then you go through another round. You play all your workers. Then you take them all off, clear off all the action spaces. You do it again. You do it 3 times. At the end of the 3 times, you reveal whoever's got the most in this area. You get all those crates in this area. It took like 20 minutes to learn and play.
Wow.
The board is like
To learn
gold
and play?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that fast. I knew it was fast.
Gold foil inlay on the board. That's
Oh,
the retail
nice.
edition. Because getting into the new stuff now, I had talked about before in a previous show that may not have made the air or not.
Oh, that's right. It was
Because
that
I
one,
don't
wasn't it?
remember if it was that one or not. But anyways, their distributor is the games all showed up in California, and their distributor accidentally sent a bunch of backers the retail version of the game. And there's only like a small difference. There's a few like upgraded bits. It's not like
Sure.
that big of a deal. But I was one of the people that got the retail version and not my Kickstarter version. So, I reached out, I'm like, hey, I think I got the retail version. They responded very quickly and they were like, okay, cool. Do you have this? And I said, no, I don't. I even sent some pictures because we were playing it. I'm like, spoiler alert, I'm going to play the game because I've got it. So I sent some pictures. They're like, nope, looks like you've got the retail version. We'll get you the new one. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do with the old one? And they're like, it's yours. Thank you for your patience.
Nice.
Super nice.
nice.
We're going to give away that copy of Mob just because,
Can I win?
maybe.
Who's the manufacturer? Who's the
I'll have to look. It's over there. But anyways, so if that happened to you, like hopefully you had as good of an experience as I did dealing with them. That's why I always just say be patient.
Yeah.
with
Don't
the
get online
game.
and blast them right away.
Yeah,
Like,
give them a second.
chance.
Well, they were only so nice to you because, you have this really famous YouTube channel.
it's
and
true.
They're like,
Influencer.
they were like, we got to look good to this guy.
Not gonna lie, when they said that they were sending me the Kickstarter one, I was like, oh great, because I'm gonna make sure we talk about this on our YouTube show.
And then they're like, what? You know?
Well, they kind of were like, hey, let us know, because
Sure.
we'd love to,
they're like, oh, another one with you.
I
yeah,
know.
probably, but I don't care.
Attention seeker.
Foot in the door, and it's not my fault that I have to tell them we have a YouTube show.
They made him do it.
They made me
Why
do
are
it
you
by
making him do
sending me
this?
the wrong version of the game. What are you going to do? So getting into news, right? So everybody loves Leader Games, right? Cole Worley and Rude and all that stuff. They have a new game that's coming out. I don't know if it's going to go to Kickstarter because most of their stuff does. But Ark's Collapse and Conflict in the Void.
Yeah, is this the sci-fi? Is that
Yeah,
what it
so
is?
it's sci-fi. It's going to play 3 to 4 players. And you're going to pursue your own objectives over multiple sessions, and each one lasting, oddly specific, 50 to 70 minutes. So there's like 40 or 50 objective cards in here, and everybody starts, there's like 1 or 2 that everybody starts at. So everybody starts like very close to the same thing. But then through the course of the game and like decisions that you make, you're going to get different objective cards, and you're going to see different objective cards. And they said there's like, I don't know, 10,000 different outcomes. Like by the time, like the replayability of this for a campaign / legacy game, it's not really a legacy game because it's very easy to reset.
Sure.
Right. And you're not like ripping up cards and
Right.
stuff. But like supposedly the replayability of this thing's going to be off the charts.
Well, Oath was also like a legacy, not legacy.
Right.
So-
And I think this is supposed to be a little more accessible than
Okay.
Oath because I feel like Oath was pretty
I've heard it has a
complicated.
pretty high ceiling. yeah.
Right. So anyways, so keep your eyes open for that. I'm not 100% sure when that's coming out, but it's coming soon. I'm going to assume it's going to go to crowdfunding because everything else for Leader Games has, and they do really well with it.
And they make great games. They do. Root's a great game. I think Vast is a great game, although I can
Would you
totally
say Vast
see...
is vastly superior?
It's not vastly superior.
Okay.
I enjoy Vast more because of the slight difference in the end game mechanics and stuff, but I totally understand that, to use a video game reference, it is kind of like the first Assassin's Creed game, right? To where first Assassin's Creed game was mind-blowing when it came out. But
Yeah.
like once you play the other ones, you go back and play the first one, you're like, oh, this was a tech demo. Like they were testing stuff with this first one. And
Oh, yeah.
and I can totally see that in Vast. You play Root and you're like, oh, okay, they cleaned some stuff up here. But I love what
I love
Vast
the idea
does.
of Vast of being the cave and just
Yeah, and just trying to
Crushing-
collapse and crush
yeah, I
everyone.
think that's
Everyone wants
amazing.
to be the cave when you play Vast. It's amazing.
Why wouldn't you?
I know.
Dan, did you get an email about Deck of Wonders?
I did, and I
Oh.
already installed
Oh, I
it.
haven't done it yet. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
so
actually, I haven't done it yet either.
but you got the email
I got
too.
the email as
So
well.
Deck of Wonders, we're big fans of it here on the show. A really, really, really unique take on like a deck builder, and also like a campaign / legacy game, right? Because you go through and
Yeah.
and unlock
And
extra
unlock
packs
stuff,
and
yeah.
build your own deck. the cards are not double-sided, but
They're reversible.
they're reversible, so you flip them one way or the other, whether it's good for you or bad for you. Amazing art, Lauren Brown. Oh, so good.
Yep.
You wrote that down.
I did not.
Wow,
Didn't
good
we-
job.
Didn't we do
His
an
memory's
interview?
terrible with names.
Usually.
Dan, didn't we do an interview with them?
Nah.
No. Oh.
Oh, we did. We
did.
You're right.
And they are wonderful people.
Yeah, it'll be up there.
Super exciting. But anyways, so they had this thing where there was like a Kickstarter like stretch goal that they would do foreteller. Dan, what is foreteller for all the people that are not?
Well, I'm brand new to
In the know.
Foreteller, but
Okay.
basically they what's the word? They do professional audio recordings of these like voices for the story of the game. I can't think of it's
like a
like
voiceover type of
yeah,
thing.
voiceover like cinematics, right? But like
Yeah.
audio cinematics or whatever. So like they'll do like the intro and then they'll do like so I don't know all that they're
work.
gonna do because I haven't played Deck of Wonders with it yet, so I don't know exactly what all they're doing, but there might be like an intro story and then there might be like an intro to each like boss, a new deck you get, who knows what
Right,
all
the
they're
bosses
doing.
you're going against might have
Right,
scenes, right, and dialogue. that they
exactly.
say,
So
and-
obviously different games handle it differently, but yeah, it's an app that you get, and each thing like if you back to Deck of Wonders, you get it for free. But I think if you don't back it, it's like $4 or something. I
Yeah,
think to get the
yeah.
Deck of Wonders pack.
And we'll let you know if it's worth the $4. 'Cause
Right.
We will play it,
Yep.
and I know Dan is really good about getting into like that immersive experience, right? When they give you other things, I'm sometimes lazy and don't do it. Full
I just have a
disclosure,
really good imagination.
but no, I mean that's why we've got a good variety of people on the show, right? but no, Dan's really good about it. When they were on the show and Dennis was telling us about it, I was like, "This sounds really cool,"
Yeah.
because it lends itself to.
It's kind of weird though, because I could have sworn in the interview I said something about me doing the voiceover for them.
I want to do voiceover.
And
Yeah,
you
you
get a
never
call?
got that call.
Yeah, and I didn't.
No.
Maybe I missed the email, and they were just like,
Oh.
"Sorry,
You
we're out of
didn't get that
time.
email?
We
Oh.
gotta get this going." But it's fine. I forgive you.
Anyways, also, the late pledge will be open on GameFound until end of March-ish. So don't wait too much longer if you're curious. And then everybody, the game should be stateside by August, which was a little later than what they were hoping. But given everything that's going on with like shipping and stuff, I mean, that's still pretty gummed up. It's flowing better
Yeah.
than it was. But I mean, I still get things in the FedEx portal. Like I had a game. I got a thing from Stonemeyer that it shipped from St. Louis to Chicago to Detroit to Indianapolis.
FedEx, man.
And now they've handed it off to the post office, like who knows when I'll get it kind of
circling
thing.
the drain.
Yeah, we are literally like right in between
All those.
Chicago and Detroit.
Which is
Or
funny because
Detroit
like.
and Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Because like I would usually say like I'm sure there's something about the way that they have to deliver that they have to do these stops in a certain order, but I'm talking to someone who used to drive a truck,
Yeah.
right? So it
and I've
seems like
delivered-
you'd understand.
I've made
So-
deliveries to the FedEx hub at the
Right.
South Bend Airport. I know it exists.
right?
I've seen their planes. I've seen FedEx planes landing there.
I
What
can't
do they have
imagine
on there?
logistically.
Beanie Babies? Like,
that's the word I was looking for. Was it seems like logistically there must be a reason, but I mean he'd understand it if
I
there
can't
was.
get the
So
reason.
I don't get it at all.
There's not.
But I've also worked for companies that logistically they don't need to make sense.
They don't have it together.
Yeah. That's why I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, it'd be frustrating.
Yeah, I had hair when I started. Just kidding. I was
No,
bald
he
way
didn't.
before I started. Anyways, that's. I've got one other thing of news, but if you guys want to go into some of the
Yeah,
news
I
stuff,
got a little bit of news.
go ahead, son.
Speaking of the supply chain being messed up, Steve Jackson.
yeah, Munchkin.
Yeah, they also
Gerps.
make Car Wars.
Yep.
They're up
Okay.
to 6th edition Car Wars, and it was on a Kickstarter back in 2020, or it was supposed to be delivered back in 2020. They are announcing officially it's going to be arriving in 2022.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's good.
That's this year.
But the bad thing and good thing is that Steve Jackson has kind of moved into survival mode. They're not doing anything other than trying to
Oh.
stay alive.
yeah.
Uh,
Gotcha.
Bad because I do not want Steve Jackson to go under, but good because it means they're putting their priorities in the right place, and hopefully this means they'll be able to go forward.
Right.
Yeah.
I do not want them to go under.
No, I mean whether or not you like Munchkin or whatever, it is a staple,
they-
and
Steve
Steve
Jackson
Jackson
has
has
so
been
many
a
good ones.
corner
That's what I
stone
said,
of
GURPS.
the
That's what I think of
industry,
first.
whether tabletop RPGs,
Illuminati.
and board games and
Right.
card games.
The
and stuff.
Illuminati. They started that.
You think they'd be okay?
Yeah, if he was an actual member of the Illuminati, he should be fine. Other news?
Got a couple little bits.
Okay.
So some good news for the panel. I got an update from Iridia.
yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to ship by the end of the year. So
Okay.
I'm not going to hold my
Okay,
breath
okay.
for it. Odds are probably be
Sure. So,
January or
yeah.
February. But
I mean,
they're
we got, like-
estimating December.
Right. So like probably delivery shortly after Chinese New Year next year.
Before
Kind of thing.
Chinese
Yeah.
New Year.
Well, if they're
Before.
if they're aiming to ship,
Chinese
they're
New Year's in
saying-
February.
I know.
Correct. They're saying December.
Oh, you're saying ship not to the U.S. You're saying ship to your house in late.
well,
No,
on,
leave.
on a boat in December.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what they're
which
saying.
is before Chinese New Year.
Correct. So as
Right,
long as it gets on a
I
boat
know,
before February, I'm okay.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of good news, right? So it's
Are you
they're making
confused
progress.
because now is February?
No, what I'm
Okay,
saying is
just
if it's in a boat in December and then
Uh-huh.
makes its way to the U.S. and then
Yeah.
has to go through the U.S. and then get to your house, it's probably not getting to your house till after Chinese New Year. Like that's what
Well,
I'm
Chinese
saying.
New Year will
No.
not affect it once it
once,
leaves China.
Once it's on the
I
boat,
guess that's
Chinese
true.
New Year's doesn't matter.
We know what
don't
country we
celebrate
live
that.
in.
We don't
I guess
celebrate
that's
that.
true as long as it hits port and isn't still
No, as
Correct.
long as
As long as
it
it's on the
gets
boat by
on the boat
February.
and out of the port. Yeah.
right.
And
But
not-
everyone is on the ocean during that time of year, so you have to actually be in port in the U.S. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck in the port for.
Well,
months.
no, if you're on the boat and out of the port, you're not stuck by Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But everyone is trying to do that.
Well, yeah,
so
you'll-
there'll
you'll
be
still get
8
stuck
billion
behind that.
boats trying
Behind,
to. Yeah,
correct.
Correct.
So that is still affecting.
There's
Well,
a good
we'll see.
chance you're going to be stuck
I'm just trying to
behind
give us some good news, Dan.
Zamazai.
I get it. I'm just saying.
Rain on our
He had to hold his
parade.
hand.
I'm trying to
walk him
give some
through
true news.
how
All right.
all
so
of this works.
anyways, other than that, a game company that we like, Renegade Games, they had, I think they were the ones that did the G.I. Joe deck building game that was announced a little bit ago.
Okay.
But they have announced a G.I. Joe miniatures game for 1 to 5 players called Mission Critical. They've got a
that's
little
what that is.
reveal on YouTube that you can look up, and there'll be more details to come. But it's celebrating their 40th anniversary. Oh my gosh, it can't be G.I. Joe's been around for 40 years.
Well, in that form, GI Joe has been around a lot
longer
longer
than that?
Well, yeah, because they had like the tall.
Oh, that's true.
The tall
Yeah.
like GI Joe
The
things.
action figures.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They were not Barbies.
No, they were action figures.
They were action
But yeah,
figures.
so that sounds kind of interesting. Like I like the.
But GI Joe, as we
miniatures,
know
co-op
them,
games.
yeah, 40 years old.
Yeah.
Knowing is half the battle.
It is.
They actually-
the other half's red and blue lasers.
They got really lucky as a company, I think, that they never lost the rights to that name because
Ooh,
because
Hasbro or Mattel.
well, I'm just saying like because
Mattel,
I can't
yeah.
remember what the phenomenon's called.
Well, they're
I don't
owned by
know if
Hasbro
you know,
now.
but if a word is used so much, they lose the trademark for
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
like the word
Public domain.
Band-Aid.
Right, yeah,
Like the word
Johnson &
Band-Aid
Johnson,
isn't
yeah.
trademarked because everyone just calls adhesive bandages Band-Aids.
Same thing with a Kleenex.
Yeah,
Right.
and Xerox.
Yeah, exactly.
Xerox,
And I'm surprised because, like, when I was a kid, everyone called every toy thing a G.I.
G.I.
Joe.
Joe, yeah.
Like, that's what they
You know
were
what's
all
weird
called.
though is that my parents called all of my toys
Stupid?
He-Mans. Yeah, and stupid. Quit playing with them toys, boy.
Yeah. Well,
Get
every
your
gaming
driver's
system-
license.
Every gaming system was a Nintendo.
Yeah, right.
I had
Yeah,
my
every game
parents.
system was a Nintendo.
Yeah.
All my guys were He-Mans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
guess
know.
if they're a big enough business, they can afford to let people use our name.
Yeah,
we can
Free
we can
advertising.
buy the trademark. A couple small things. So I don't think we've been able to mention this on the show yet. Avalon Hill announced a very small teaser trailer, and we got nothing else for Betrayal at House on the Hill 3rd edition. I'm very excited about this, but we need to be really careful because when 2nd edition came out, they basically didn't fix anything, and everyone was like,
They just reprinted it.
it's like an unbalanced mess, and we loved the game, but it was an unbalanced mess. So you came out with 2nd edition, and we love the game, but it's an unbalanced mess. So
Did they at least have new scenarios?
they,
thought about
yeah, of
picking it up.
course,
Okay,
of course,
okay.
of
Yeah, they
course.
added
It was,
good.
it was a new game, but the problem with the first one everyone had was how unbalanced it was, and then the 2nd edition didn't address
Fix any of that.
any of it.
My only problem really with the 2nd edition, because I don't mind the unbalanced mess.
Sure, me
was
neither.
The crappy components of
Oh, the
like,
clips.
The clips, which I bought. They then came
second-
out with the
yeah,
upgrade
their
kit.
market, yeah.
So I bought. Well, no, they actually released their own.
I know,
upgrade kit,
yeah,
but I bought one, but didn't do the secondary market when I got like their.
I got it too
real
because
one.
it came with the dice, the green
Yeah,
dice or
yeah,
whatever,
it
and
looks
the
cool.
whatever.
But wouldn't it be really difficult to balance a game where every single time you play it's totally
Of
different
course,
game?
and again, like Tim, I don't mind the imbalance, but you have to admit the game, of course, would be better if it was that good and balanced.
Well,
right?
yeah,
but I
100%.
just
If
don't.
it's
I don't
possible.
mind the imbalance.
Yeah.
I think it's
like
part of the charm.
crazy.
I thought it was
wildness
great,
of
craziness, yeah.
But anyway, we'll see. 3rd edition does excite me. And let's see. I don't think we had a date last time, so I was just re-emphasizing that Funko's Jurassic Park: The Legacy of Isla Nublar, which,
yeah.
by the way, I don't know how this is YouTube. I don't know how I didn't get totally hated on.
Okay.
Last time I talked about this, because I was rewatching the episode shortly after it came out, making sure, that everything was good and stuff. Like, I like rewatching the videos and being like, oh, I said that wrong, or I need to repeat that stuff. The entire episode, I was saying Isle Nublar.
Oh, instead of
Isla Nublar. And I was like, I've seen Jurassic Park. It's not Isle. Like, why was I saying that? No one called me out for it. I was blown
I was
away.
thinking it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, in the comments, no one was like, idiot.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, we have an official date now coming to Kickstarter March 22nd.
Well, the thing is if you would have had a rule wrong, they would have told you.
That's
But
true.
it's just
That's true.
saying something.
Honestly, I'm worried about the effectiveness of archers in the Jurassic Park game. I don't know.
Agreed. And the length of time it will take to play. No, I'm really.
I know.
I've heard good things. I'm skeptical.
I'm
I don't
skeptical, too.
understand why Prospero Hall is going to crowdfunding because they make money hand over fist.
I actually saw when I was collecting all the news, one of the things I saw on Board Game Geek was someone interviewed them about that, and they had a talk about why they went to Kickstarter
right
this
on.
time. I didn't read the whole thing,
Sure.
because I don't care why they're going to Kickstarter, honestly. But the main thing I picked up from the first couple sentences, whatever, was they weren't sure that their fan base was going to completely understand how Legacy works, so Kickstarter was a way for them to explain it better, like with all their videos and their page and everything,
sure.
so they can explain this is what you're going to be doing. Are you sure you want to buy this? And that was like their kind of reasoning. From what I could see.
I get that because you do see their stuff at big box stores a lot.
Right,
Yet,
and going from
Despite that, though, right? Like hobby board gamers do not seem to have that problem with Prospero Hall, and still seem to gobble up their games. I really want to play the Americana version of Horrified because I think Horrified is a really good, fun light to middleweight co-op, but really good IP based game. The Jaws game is really fun and unique. I've not played Top Gun. I know they do a ton of these.
I just have a problem with the American Horrified because I'm more interested. Because they came out around the same time, I'm more interested in the Fate of the Nostromo because that's another horrified-ish game from what everyone's saying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm really interested in that as well. But we'll see what happens.
I do have one last piece of news.
Okay, when you're done, I'll go with the last one.
Right. It's kind of big. You all heard of Hasbro?
Oh,
Is that the same one you got?
maybe.
Okay. Then
I got
maybe you
I got a
should do it.
two-parter on Hasbro, so go for it.
Okay, well, I know that they are basically, they own Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard this.
Yeah, okay, so they announced they are splitting or trying to split Wizards of the Coast into a digital version and a non-digital version.
Oh, that's not where I'm going, so go for it.
Really?
Yeah, go for it.
Well,
Do your thing.
that's it. They're announcing they may have to split it into a digital version and a non-digital
Oh, sure. Some of that is because they're making so much money.
Yes, actually, that's exactly the reason they said. So they think they can make even more money by splitting.
Oh, what should we do with all this money?
So Hasbro last year had $1.3 billion in sales. Hasbro.
Goodness.
74% of that was Wizards of the Coast.
Not surprised.
74
Considering how much one of those packs costs.
74% of that, right? So
Yeah, he's like 15% of that.
Bob
right
is
there.
currently weighed down by a large percentage.
I buy some Magic cards.
but they didn't release exactly how much of that was digital sales versus
Yeah.
and also that's just all tabletop gaming
Yeah,
stuff, right? Related, but still that's an amazing number and super awesome for the industry because when the industry makes money, right? We're gonna keep getting games, which makes me happy, right?
Yeah.
Games are gonna keep coming out.
I suspect that they're making so much money digitally because of COVID. I mean, there were so many places that stopped having Magic tournaments and things like that, and they started going to the online one. And now, why would you?
And it's
stop the online
interesting
one?
because Fantasy Flight dissolved their digital division.
I don't know why.
And here we got WotC, just rising up and doing some crazy stuff. Asmodee, right, is doing a lot of stuff, cranking out everything. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Pandemic now that Pandemic has disappeared, because I really feel that is going to be a big relaunch on a specific platform that they can control.
Right.
What was it? Board Game
Yeah,
Arena,
I think
or,
we talked about they own Board Game Arena.
Yeah.
Or something.
They own one. They own many things.
Sure.
But yeah.
They own me.
In other good Hasbro news, so the original president of WotC is been promoted, and they are hiring a Microsoft executive, Cynthia Williams, to be the president. So it's cool. You got
Oh.
a female, like we've got some diversity. It should be interesting to see what happens. Clearly, she's very successful. It's just nice to see growth, right? And hopefully this is all growth in like a positive way.
I've actually heard of that name.
So that's good, I guess. Hopefully that's good. You've heard
I
that name
hope so.
and not like murdered 7 people.
I'm gonna have to like go into my head. How do I know that name?
Where did I see that?
Yeah. Ooh. They basically that's all. That's the last bit of my news. I just had that Hasbro news.
I got two small announcements because people might care. First of all,
Don't care.
Yeah, I know. I said someone.
Do
I know
care.
you don't care about anything. So first of all, Dying Light is a very famous zombie video game. Was announced that there's a board game coming by the same people who did the Frostpunk board game, which hasn't delivered yet, but has had rave reviews. So we'll see when it actually comes out if those
Lives up
reviews
to it.
hold up. Yeah, Glass Cannon Unplugged is doing it. But yeah, Dying Light, beloved video game. We'll see how they do that. And then a cooperative version of Carcassonne was announced.
yeah.
Yeah, called Fog Over Carcassonne. So it's cooperative this time, and your goals are you play over 3 days, whatever that means.
Long game.
Yeah, I know. For Carcassonne, I know.
It's
Carcassonne
like
Legacy.
Axis and Allies.
So you stop the spread of ghosts. There's like ghosts around the board, and you're working together to stop them. So I'm going to say
So
what
it's
I'm...
Carcassonne meets Brigadoon.
Here's what I'm
The
going to
ghost
assume,
city
okay?
that appears in
Stop the
fog?
spread of ghosts. My guess, the ghosts travel along the roads. You are stopping the roads, right? You are making the roads end to stop the ghosts. That's my guess. Contain haunted grounds within cemeteries.
So you're
Farms,
building.
right?
yeah.
You're building stuff around, creating the farms. They're cemeteries, right? That's my guess. And then it says use haunted castles to your advantage.
Cities.
Build up the big cities. You get something for that other than just points this time, probably,
Yeah.
right? Because it says to
You
your
build
advantage.
you build a haunted castle for the ghosts to go live.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of
So
want to play this. Though.
those
I
are
like
my
the theme.
guesses. But yeah, so that's all I know so far. Fog Over Carcassonne was announced. I mean, I've said this many times. Of all the old classics, Catan and all those,
Yeah.
I liked Carcassonne the most. I still play it to this day. I don't really like Catan all that much. I think there were more advanced versions that are very good, but like base game Catan, I find kind of boring. And Carcassonne, while it is also a pretty simple, boring game, I just have fun. I think it's a really fun
It's
little
pretty neat.
tile
It's pretty
game.
neat.
So.
Yeah.
That is all my news.
You reminded me of one more thing.
Yeah.
This War of Mine, which is
Oh,
based
yeah,
on like
yeah, yeah.
war ravaged,
yeah.
you know,
I saw this.
they are donating for the. So this is very time sensitive.
yeah.
But like for a week, for the next 7 days, probably starting yesterday. But when this drops, so still be a few days left. They're donating all profits of their sales to Ukrainian like
I
relief
think I
efforts.
just might do that then.
So, which is super
it's been on my list
fantastic.
of a game to buy.
It's a really the board game itself is really hard.
It is.
And it's really dark
Yeah.
and depressing.
I
but
really
it's,
want to play this.
but the theme is so, I mean, it's so strong, right? Like, so whether or not you have a good time playing it, the game does what it is supposed to do. It conveys that feeling and that theme. So good on them. I appreciate that they are, trying to donate some money
Give
for,
back a little bit.
to help people out.
Put that in my schedule.
All right,
Buy
let's
this War
get
of Mine.
into crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Oh yeah,
I've got one.
I got 2.
I have one.
I think I have 2, but I actually wrote 3, knowing that you guys would probably mention most of them.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I
sure.
did.
Uh,
So,
Go with your
just
one.
so
You
you
got
know,
one.
Dan only has Elden Ring written in that
Yeah.
book
3 times.
over and over
yeah,
and
the
over.
first one is Elden Ring. You can get it for $60.
Yeah.
If you've got multiples, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Okay.
That makes no sense.
None.
the logic would be the opposite. The
Yeah.
people
I
with
know.
less go in case he takes yours.
Eh.
It's
That
fine.
goes to Spencer even more.
Okay, so I want him to go once, and then you guys go
Sure.
and take his.
Yeah, that's fine. There's one that I'm kind of interested in because it sounds like the mechanics are very similar to Race for the Galaxy. It's called Earth.
Okay.
It's by Inside Up Games. I've never heard of them.
So nobody took. Spencer didn't take yours.
Oh.
Spencer didn't take yours.
Upside down. That actually took me a second. It's the opposite of upside down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Spencer didn't take yours. You're
Well,
good.
I still have one more. No.
No.
This one's beginning crowdfunding until March 8th. It's a 1 to 5 player engine building tableau building.
Doesn't sound anything like it.
You don't even
anything
like those
like
kind of
it.
games.
I
Spencer.
know.
Where
Weird.
you're going to pick an island. They're double-sided. So you're going to pick an island. Each island is going to have a different climate, and each island is also going to have its own separate ecosystem.
Okay. Sounds cool.
You have, I think, 4 actions. You will be planting, which means you're going to be placing powers and drawing a card. Composting, which means you gain soil, which is one of the mechanics in the game. Watering, where you let me see if I
Water?
can read my terrible handwriting. You plant, you get plant cubes, and you also get more soil from that. and growing, which is where you get cards and growth pieces.
Okay.
Now, I didn't go into like the how to play or see any of the reviews. There's also a whole every card or action. When an action comes up, you're going to have a tableau, and each card has a different color on it, and that's going to correspond to that turn, or to that action that's happening. So all of the ones of that action or that color go off, and they all have a major and a minor benefit. Everyone gets the minor benefit, and the guy who does it gets the major benefit. Nothing at all like Race for the Galaxy.
Nothing at all.
And it ends when there are 16 cards down. So it's kind of similar. I'm interested to see.
So the only thing that would make you want this game more is that if it had Celtic not dice.
or the most insane erratic iconography.
Absolutely. Possibly look more. Actually, the art, I believe, is photographs, but it's photographs of like beautiful
Right.
scenery from things.
It's not a photograph of Harry Potter.
No, sorry. Harry Potter
Or
over
Bob.
there.
Yeah, same thing.
He's the hairiest Potter.
Pretty hairy.
Or just
We went
Put
there.
that image later, Tim.
So you just gave me a little idea for a game that I thought would be really cool. So I know there's already a game called Pangea, which by the way is just one of the coolest words in the English dictionary.
okay.
I love that
I
word.
got that game.
But do you? I really want to play it.
I
It
do
looks
too.
awesome.
have you played it?
Okay. So imagine a game where each person's like asymmetric player board is you're each a Pangea and you're trying to create the best Earth, right? Like you're trying to build up your Pangea and
Go
break
on to
it up
Wonderland over here.
into continents and stuff and try to do that. You'd call it like World Builder or something like that, you know? Like
Yeah,
that's
if
a
you
cool
wanted a
game.
boring
Like
title that's
Sim Earth?
just what it does.
I mean, yeah, the other one's called Pangea. Just because it's a cool sounding word doesn't make it a boring word.
Yeah, but it's like,
It's
oh,
literally just Pangea.
comic book deck builder. It's my favorite game.
Your favorite game is comic book deck builder.
It's DC deck builder.
Not Marble Deck Builder.
So
Whatever,
anyway,
that'd be your
Marvel
second favorite
Legendary.
game.
back to Earth. Hello.
Perfect Earth or a new best Earth.
So the game has only one price point, $43.
I love it.
Nice. You're gonna hate one
The
of them.
cool thing, the cool thing about this is it's available in 10 different languages.
Terrible. I hate it. What if I get the wrong language?
Oh god. Maybe
Well, then
read.
go get
No.
some Duolingo and learn that language.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's true.
It's a free app. It's pretty good.
So there you go. That's Earth. Looks pretty interesting.
Sounds cool. Like
Yeah.
it. You want to go there, Elden Ring?
Well, Bob's
your
probably going
nickname
to talk about
now.
that one, but that one is so Bob too. I hope you saw that. So I'll bring
I know
up
Bob's in that
51st
one,
State. No one's going to talk
It's a
about
great
that.
game. I've got the original, like the.
I was going to say he would probably love it, right? That tableau builder,
Yep.
iconography system. It
Yep.
seems like
This
really
is one
good.
I've been told
Yeah,
I
look
would
at
like.
this one.
Me
Yeah,
too.
By a lot
I've
of people.
considered getting. I saw that. I considered.
It's on
it, but-
GameFound.
Yes,
Right?
51st State Ultimate Edition is currently on GameFound by Portal Games. They make a lot of
Yeah, Nasi
fantastic
Trebicek.
games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe. It's 1 to 4 players. Now, this one will only have a couple days left by the time this airs, like 2 or 3 days. So you'll have to hop on there fast. But playtime of 75 minutes exactly, or else. Yeah. And so this one is the rough one that I said that Tim would hate because
Yeah.
I think it was this one. Man, I can't remember. One of them has just the dumbest. No, it's not this
Pledge
one.
levels and stuff.
Pledge levels. It's not this one though, because that's a Kickstarter problem. So $90, and then there's just a bunch of tiers if you just want some small add-ons and stuff.
Get the
because
factions or
because
things
again,
you
this
don't
is Fit
have.
First, Ultimate Edition, so you can get what you don't have, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I respect that.
Now going off of one thing though, because you mentioned this just earlier, this game does have around $180 tier that is the Ultimate Edition. With a signed copy of the Ultimate Edition, with this is the coolest frickin' thing ever. As someone who's interested in this, with the original prototype cards, like the hand drawn cards, you see with
Nice.
with their ideas that they were coming up with the cards. They look so cool, man. I love seeing those. Like this is a huge professional game that is some people's favorite game. Like I know from Dice Tower, Z Garcia for a long time this was his favorite game of all time, and to see like. Oh, they started with a little cutout piece of paper with like a car circled drawn on it. And it's just like, oh, well, this means that resource. I just love that stuff. But anyway, every cent from people who buy that tier goes to the Ukrainian
That's fantastic.
relief stuff.
Nice.
So, yes, they are also doing something like that.
Yeah, because
Just
it's
really cool.
I mean, it's Portal Games. It's a Polish game company.
Right.
I mean, it's
Been a big-
it's close. It's very close to
Right,
that.
right
Right.
next door.
But yeah, so that was 51st State.
That is fantastic.
By the way, I should probably say engine building, tableau building game. You're getting cards and you're building up, and it's like post-apocalyptic city kind of game. Totally never said what the game was.
Nope, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't, but now I'm interested.
Thanks, host. It's okay. I know what it is.
Just telepathically letting them all know. No, I'm going to talk about Quartermain.
Okay.
You know, so this got relaunched. It is already funded. They went with a smaller print run, so they had a lower goal. But yeah, completely funded. When this comes out, there'll still be like 2 weeks left on the pledge. The pledge levels are pretty straightforward. $33 for the regular game. $50 gets you a signed and numbered copy. And I believe there's an art print that comes along with that as well. And then $200, it gets you a prototype copy while you're waiting for the finished game.
Oh, nice.
And then you also get to sit in on some of like the stuff for expansions that come out. Nice. So Quartermain is based on, you know, the character. You know, he was Victorian era.
Yep.
You know, late 1800s, big game hunter kind of
guy.
guy.
Quartermain is definitely Victorian era.
Right. Yes. Anyways, the deck builder's really neat though, because you've got the Savannah, and that is there's tiers to it, right? So there's like, depending on what weapon you go, what
like
weapon
range.
you're using. Yeah, there's like close range, and then there's like medium range, and then there's the horizon. So most of the time you can't hit anything on the horizon, but you know it's coming. And so then as you kill something or kill an elephant, and you've got its trophy, all those cards slide down, you know, in those rows. So you can kind of manipulate like how things are going to come down to you. You've got things you can buy from the market, so you can get a different kind of gun, and then when
like a Dominion style kind of market,
yeah,
where it's like preset at the beginning of the game.
But when you buy a gun, though, what's awesome is it doesn't go into your deck, and you got to wait to draw it. You just put it in your gun rack, and then before you start your turn, you just decide
what gun you're taking out to hunt,
and which ally you're taking.
This is
with
how
you, right?
But what if you don't own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate a rack?
But it's got some really neat mechanics. I like deck building, anyways. I don't really care about hunting. I don't really care about Quartermain, but
except for the name.
Right.
It's just a cool name.
But I had a really good time playing this.
Cool mechanics.
And playing and using the mechanics because they all make sense for the theme of the game.
Yep, right.
And so anyways, it is a really cheap kind of hidden gem, I think, deck builder. I think
the only thing I'm wondering is the Pierce Brosnan card still in the game? Because I want it to be in the game. There's a card in the game that is clearly just Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just Pierce Brosnan.
Well, there should be a Sean Connery.
There should be a Sean Connery.
I was thinking the same thing. Where's the Sean Connery card?
Well, it looks like you need to get on that $200 pledge level, and then you can be in the discussion group.
Right. I wish he had a tier that was like, we'll make you a character in the game, and I just send him a picture of Sean Connery. And I'm like, no, that's me.
You don't know you.
I wanted to back your game. This is one where they've made the changes, right?
Yeah, they made some changes and stuff. The problem is it is a problematic era of history and colonialism and imperialism.
And I thought he handled it in a fine way, but people were complaining. He changed some stuff. That's fine. He changed it. I'm not going to complain that he changed it. I just don't think it was necessary.
I would say that I know Dan and I kind of have the mentality where sometimes it's keep scrolling. You know, if you don't like it, it's fine. It's not coming from a place of hate.
Right. When I'm on Kickstarter and I see a board game on there that's like all about gambling, I don't say this
shouldn't gamble.
Filthy habit that you people have, and I'm just like, oh, I wouldn't like that. Like, that's all I do.
But at the same time, if you have a company, you're making a product, and you are losing potential customers because of something you could easily change, why would you?
That's
not
what I
change
said.
it?
I'm not mad that he changed it.
Yeah,
It makes
exactly.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
For him, it makes total sense.
But yep, that one's mine.
All right.
That one's mine.
Well, earlier today I taled about Unsettled.
Yep.
Unsettled is now back on Kickstarter.
Dun, dun, dun.
They got 3 new planets that you can pick up. They come with they're about $25 a piece, but you buy them all at once, so $75. But then you also get like some bonus modules and things like that. If you missed out on the original Kickstarter, you can get the base game plus all the original stuff. And then they've got the thing where you get all the stuff together if you need to get all the stuff together.
Right on.
So, yeah. But it's basically the same stuff, right? So
Yeah,
it's
luckily you talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
so.
so I'm not going into too much, but yeah, 3 new planets, and then some bonus rift, blue rift, purple rift, a task pack, and some.
Is there a pledge to get all the first Kickstarter stuff?
This is the one
Yes.
that has the problem, by the way.
Okay.
You'll hate it.
Yeah, so like the
There's
first
8
pledge
billion
level
pledges.
is $75, and that's just the new stuff.
And
the
then it's
next
like-
one is $90, and that was the original game with the
everything.
base 2 boxes. And then you can get
Yeah.
the original game with the base 2 boxes and the original 4. Then you can get the one with the original game. It's just where were you at?
And
sure.
when you-
I just
when
know
you
that he
bought it.
hates that,
No,
but
I-
it makes
sure.
sense.
I
And
get
they-
it, and I'm glad that they're giving people options. It's the only problem
You
is
just
got to
make sure you read carefully.
Yeah, make sure you get the one you need.
And
Yeah.
they have every one of those tiers sleeved as well.
Correct.
Right,
So
and
it's
each
like
one has a
doubled
no-sleeved
the
and
number
sleeved
of-
versions. Yeah.
having played the game, I really don't think you need. I'm a sleever. Like deck building games,
Yeah.
I sleeve all my
What a
stuff.
sleeve.
And then there's a
DC,
sun drop.
I did sleeve all my games. Yeah.
They're all cards.
Yeah, but you can do a little shading on there.
Just a blue card.
Dual-layered cards. And all that.
Dual-layer cards. I like it.
But yeah, no.
So some of the quick details I got here, Bob, because I don't know if you do 2 to 4 players, 60 to 90 minutes.
Yep.
And it looks like you were going through them at 75 to 250.
Yep,
Looks
depending
like
on
the
what
price
you need.
range.
Co-op puzzle game.
What's
Well, a
the
little
game
more.
company
Yeah.
that makes it?
Like
Orange Nebula.
Orange Nebula.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
the
We talked about that
vindication.
on
And it is
Publication
Game
People.
Trays, yeah.
It is Game Trays.
So
We have till March 8th.
I wasn't gonna mention this one yet, but no one else did. And the only real negative of this new format with the 2 weekly thing is now we have to look at things that like, oh, we got 19 days for this game.
Nope.
I don't know if we will be able to have 19 days to talk about this one, because it's 2 weeks.
That's a
So,
good point. Good point.
How Rulers of Yucatan.
Oh,
Did you see this? It
No.
seemed like a very you game. Yeah, so How Rulers of Yucatan by Aperion Games. You have till March 18th. It's 1 to 5 players, 90 to 120 minutes, a longer game here, and the pledges go from $65 to $80. I don't have too much detail here because I was kind of hoping Bob would see it, but it is a Maya era themed game. It is a worker placement game where you are moving around a map and claiming sites, and then you are invoking the power of your gods to give you benefits. And there was one element that was really cool. It reminded me of like, there was some game it reminded me of, but now I can't remember what it was, where you are collecting these pieces off the board and you're building up a monument. Like there's a monument on your player board and you're putting the little tiles on there and building it up. And as you build it up, you're getting bonuses for like, oh, you have 3 of the blue crystals or effigies or whatever they are together. That gives you a little bonus to your power because you're like using the right idols to build up your monument, the right pieces, stuff like that. But yeah, so it just was a really cool looking worker placement game in that Maya type of time era. Honestly, again, I didn't write down too much because I was like, oh, I hope Bob sees this. This seems like a Bob game. But 19 days left, so we will see if Bob winds up seeing it, and we might be able to talk about it next time. It'll be close. I don't know.
Maybe.
check it out.
All right, Spencer, did you have one more, or are we good?
It was Unsettled.
Okay, perfect. Great. All right, guys. So this has been the Board Game Rundown. Be sure to check out all of our sister and brother channels, the Thems and Theys. There's Miniatures Rundown. There's Magic the Gathering Rundown. There's Pokemon Rundown.
That's it.
That's it. Also, check out our friends at
I
the
think
Board
that's
Game
it. I
Mechanics.
wasn't paying
I don't
attention.
remember.
Jason and Katie do a pretty okay job. It was nice that you guys at least mentioned them,
Yes.
last week. But yeah, they do a pretty good, okay job. They got a ton of YouTube videos all the time. They cover all kinds of stuff that we do not. There's a reason for that. I don't know. Just kidding. They also have a weekly podcast that I like a lot.
If there's anything if you guys want us to talk about certain things in our news and our Kickstarter parts, join our Discord.
It's real active.
We take there are little channels in there for Kickstarters and news, and people talk about what they're interested in, and we talk about it on the show.
We just created a topic suggestion channel.
And we're going to use one, I think, not for the next topic because that was already pre-planned, but maybe the one after that.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's definitely going to get used. There is a a Kickstarter, board game Kickstarter one that is actually already exists.
Yeah.
That came up.
Yeah. Maybe type it. I'm just kidding.
No, it's cool. It was fun. Also, for those of you paying attention, we did a big giveaway. We gave away 3 games. Everybody should be getting those games like relatively soon. So I hope to hear from those people. We gave away Reef, we gave away Aftershock, and we gave away one of the many versions of Aeon's End. So yeah, man, we've got a ton of stuff to give away. We're just trying to find fun and unique ways to do it. And then, yeah, I'll have a copy of Mob of the Big Apple we're going to be doing. So if you got any suggestions for that, like how you'd like to see those done, I mean, drop us a line. That's how they do it.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
a
it?
great, and
Totally.
it's way up here.
That's
Takes
you don't
2
keep
hands.
you don't
type
keep
my
your
phone. Type.
keep your keyboards up here, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right, guys. So for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Spencer.
Dan.
Elden Ring. We'll see you next time.
When I am watching them back there, I had a screen showing the top camera. and usually, if you want to show your book, Tim, this is what the book usually looks like to the front camera.
Yeah. Okay.
With
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff written on it.
Oh yeah, like that. Okay.
Now, if Dan could show his games play, there's only one thing written on that page in really big.
Elden.
That's why I made the joke earlier.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.